Is the final days of girls state basketball tournaments in Iowa and Nebraska, and over in Lincoln, girls basketball teams hit the hardwood for their chance at a state championship berth. Sports Force's Irvin Doman has been following the action all day and is here with the highlights.
It is day 3 of girls state basketball down here in Lincoln. We have 6 Siouxland teams still in action, so let's get right into the highlights and see who can punch their ticket to the state championship. The first game of the day was the Hartington Cedar Catholic Trojans taking on the Centurions. Kathleen Jones floats the pass over the defender to McKenna Naker, who gets the corner 3 to fall. Trojans working in transition. This time, Lainey Cottle with the fancy footwork, finishing through the contact and getting the friendly bounce off the back iron. Now the Trojan pesky defense leads to a steal and a nasty step back 3 from Naker to extend the Trojan lead. Into the second quarter, the Hartington Cedar Catholic Trojans break the press with great ball movement, and it leads to a Jones 3. A second half surge from Centura was too much for the Trojans as they fell 65-45. Coach Craig Wortman spoke about his team and the effort they have shown all year.
These girls, we've been to state a lot of times in a row here, and these seniors for sure have been here all 4 years. I mean, they work hard all the time, and we're talking practice, we're talking off season, and they're battling through. That's why the tears come out at the end, because they're struggling, as working through as much as they can to get to that point.
The Trojans will now play Ravenna in the third place game. Next up, an all Siouxland matchup with the Crofton Warriors taking on the Oakland Craig Knights. The Warriors start us out with a fast break layup from Cassie Allen, who finishes through the contact. Pace was the name of the game early in this one, as a driving Sammy Allen gets it up and over the Knight defender for a Crofton bucket, but the Knights take the inbound and fly down the court, leading to a Sadie Nelson bucket for Oakland Craig. The Knights working back on offense, slowly taking control of the game as Bailey Pellin drives right into the teeth of the defense and gets the shot to fall. The Knights would win this one 58-39, and they are now headed to the Class C2 state championship. Senior Sadie Nelson was overcome by emotion as she talked about how much this win means for her and the Knight program.
I've lost so many times in the semis. I've seen my sister, we've never made it before, and it's just the best team to be on with my twin sister our senior year. And it's just nothing I can explain. It's just our team is so special, so amazing. Our chemistry is always there, it's perfect. And of course defense, defense wins games, defense wins championships.
The Knights will play tomorrow at 4:15 with the hardware on the line, and the team they will face will be decided in this all Siouxland matchup between Pender and Guardian Angels Central Catholic. The Blue Jays hit an early shot from Isabel Haas to try and catch up to the fiery Pendragons, but Pender would not let that happen as they get to work with a Maya Dolliver drive that slices the defense and a finish off the glass. The Pendragons get back to work quickly on offense with a Maya Dolliver 3 that splashes through to extend the Pender lead, and Dolliver was not done there. Clock winding down at the end of the first quarter. Maya gets the ball and heaves the shot, and of course it's as wet as water. Dolliver ended the game with 24 points and led the way for the Pendragons as they advance to the Class C2 championship. Since the start of the year, every team's goal is to be in this position, and Pender has made it a reality.
Well, we've been talking about playing at the Pinnacle Bank Arena since the first day of practice, even before that in the fall season, and we wanted to make that dream come true. So we've been talking about it, we've been working for it, and we're ready, and now we're going.
Semifinal action was capped off tonight with the Wynot Blue Devils taking on the Shelton Bulldogs. The Blue Devils would get started on offense with Amber Lawson crashing the glass and finishing with a nice putback. Wynot still holding the lead, and this drive by Lauren Haberman leads to another layup that just gets over the defender. Second quarter action now as the Blue Devils get the 3 ball to fall from Kinsley Hymas to give the Blue Devils a larger lead. More good ball movement here, and a great backdoor cut leads to another Lawson bucket for the Blue Devils. Wynot would go on to win this one 43-36, and Laura Haberman gives her thoughts on this game.
It's the best feeling in the world. I mean, we worked together as a team. We knew that they were going to be a strong team, and they're big girls. We knew we had to rebound, and we got it done.
In Lincoln, Nebraska, Irvin Doman, Sports Force.
Thank you, Irvin. And